Good morning, everybody. Before we go anywhere today, I need to apologize for last Monday's stream. You may have noticed it did not happen. I was having trouble getting the game to work, so I figured we'll do a different game. And then the streaming was all over the place. Our connection was having some problems. It seems to be better today. We have had some dropped frames, but it's like 0.2%, not like the 20 something it was the other day. 20%, I mean. We'll get started here in just a second. Excuse me. I think I'm getting sick. I don't like it. Can't afford it right now. Not like financially can't afford it, but flying solo at work this week, and I really need to not be sick. Don't. Huh. I had to spend a little time with my boats, and got some stuff in my inventory. It should be equipped. Why don't I have that equipped? Because I don't have the boat that needs that. I thought I did. I'm looking at this, and Stream Element says we're streaming Void Pyramid for Sunday Morning Minecraft, and I don't know why it's saying that. And then I've still got the, like, still says Monday Evening Minecraft down there. I don't know. I've updated it, like, everywhere that I can update it. And I don't remember that being a problem last time. Sunday Morning Minecraft, Sunday Morning Minecraft, Sunday Morning Minecraft. I don't know. I've been playing Earthbound with a randomizer. And let me tell you, it's been interesting. I just got to the point where we're doing the monkey cave. And I need chests are randomized and stores are randomized. So if you've played the game, or you've seen someone play the game, you might remember the monkey cave. And if you remember the monkey cave, you know what that's all about. The monkeys don't want different things, but it's not as easy, because for the most part the game was pretty good about, like, here are the items that you need for the cave, they're in the cave behind a door, blah, 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 blah. Not so much anymore. So I've got to go and find, somewhere in the world exists the king banana, and I need to find that. I also need to find a ruler. I did find trout flavored yogurt in the monkey cave, which you have to complete the monkey cave to get the item to get the trout flavored yogurt, so you can go and rescue Paula. But I found the trout flavored yogurt in the monkey cave, so I don't have to technically finish the monkey cave. It's weird. Hey, look, I got BD Craft to work. Actually, I went to their website and looked, and they said, yeah, we don't know what's going on. The best thing to do is email the actual like Minecraft people, and they'll straighten it out for you. So I did. And they did. And then they've emailed me like 37 times since then. How'd we do? How'd we do? Can you rate our support? Please rate our support. Pretty please, pretty please. Just obnoxious, guys, when you ask so often. I like this texture pack, resource pack thing quite a bit. It's my favorite. We seem to be a little hungry. Are we a little hungry? What did we do last time that would have made us hungry? No, we took some damage. Not a lot, but some. Iron, lapis, gold, emerald. Alright, the walls, granite, equipment. We make a we have an anvil, right? Monster drops, foodstuffs. Hungry again? Jeez, I just ate. It's like watermelon's not very filling or something. We do. Pulled out all those bows I didn't even bring with me. Fell down the stairs. It's a great way to start. That's kind of how my morning's going, ladies and gentlemen. The very fall down the stairs. I'm gonna keep this separate. Well, what the hell are we going to do today? We need more copper. Oh, sorry we didn't finish those. We can do that. This one is this one. Yes. Copper and leather. That's on the agenda today. I don't think we quite get the same lighting effects we do in BD Craft that the vanilla has, but I like the look of this better. There's some leather. Excuse me. Should be able to get leather from sheep and pigs. It should count. For my purposes, it's fine. It's no different. It just needs skin. Just like Silence of the Lambs. You just need the skin. Yeah, you cows picked a bad day to come into existence. I feel bad for killing them, and I feel worse for killing them when I don't get leather. That's like the whole point. That's why I'm doing it. One of the reasons I like this texture pack, resource pack, I guess, is it does make certain things easier to spot. How much copper did we end up with last time when we finally said, okay, enough's enough. We're out of here. Was it 3 stacks? I think we'll aim for 3 stacks. There's almost 1. This way. Just so much coal over here. Pardon me. I don't know, and if I have, I don't remember it, but I don't know that I've ever seen a world so full of coal before. It's just everywhere. There's some right there. There's some right there. It's right there. There's some right there. I saw that huge. There's right there. There's that big bit underwater over there. It's just everywhere. I mean, I may as well take it. Right there. Just everywhere. But we don't want coal. We want copper. Dark already? That's dumb. Let's see a cow. Let's go take care of this cow. He had some leather. That's okay. Guess we'll go back home. Keep an eye out for other cows along the way, I guess. Don't see anything. And there's a creeper over there. Saw that. There. Don't want to waste a block of coal on that. Plus it just looks like a black box, you know. Knowing me, I'll think, oh, that's wool. Something stupid like that. There. Yeah. Those. God damn it. Alright. Let's go to bed. Get them all. Look at them all burning alive. Or dead. Burning dead. Burning undead. Does my heart good. Anything I care about? Hey, pal. A question for you. How'd that feel? Pretty bad, right? That's what I was hoping. Somebody bought the farm over here. Let's go check that out. Yeah, just zombie meat. Don't care. I need some more dirt. Sand or something. Not a lot, just a little bit. I know I've got a lot in the house, but I don't want to go into the house. Go up and down those stairs. Just doesn't sound fun. Up there in the background is our head bob. There's one little spot. I don't know if you saw it. The light was just bouncing back and forth. Pumpkins in there? Nope, not yet. I mentioned this, I don't know when, sometime. Kind of getting back into Terraria a little bit, and it's not been good because I've got so much other stuff I need to be doing, and I've just kind of been sucked back into that. I had a character, and I 100%ed it. I did all the achievements, all of them. It took me weeks, if not months, to do it, right? And don't know what happened to it. I think I had moved it off the cloud to do something, and then it's gone. So that character, DOA, folks, doesn't even exist in the universe anymore. It was very sad. So I've had to start over. I mean, I've still got, Steam says I've got most all the achievements done, but there were a couple that I know I did that aren't being marked. And that's a little frustrating because it was like fishing stuff. Some of the more obnoxious ones. So we need a pumpkin there and a pumpkin there. We're fine. We'll just keep it going. Like this down. And there are some things that have changed in Terraria. They've got, you know, it just so happened I came back to it when there was a big update. Another one of their final updates ever. Updates, you know. They have more final updates, and Kiss has had farewell tours. And really, I think people should sue Kiss just for having so many farewell tours. Mostly because I can't stand Kiss, and I think Gene Simmons is a piece of trash human being. But I've been playing it, and it's very addictive. And I don't know what happened, because I did not really like it when I first played it years and years ago. This is alright. It's not as good as Minecraft, I would say, at the time, but I've come to understand that it's a different animal. You know, Terraria's got its things, Minecraft has this thing, its things. And I have come to, like, when I sit down to play this, you know, I was doing some spelunking in Terraria the other day, and I thought, man, if I could do this in Minecraft, this specific thing, I don't remember what it was. I think it was a rope. I think it was throwing ropes to get around in a cave. I thought, if I could do this in Minecraft, that would be awesome. It would make caving a much better experience. And then, of course, you can't do it, so. It just makes me not want to cave as much in Minecraft, which is terrible, because, you know, you kind of have to. We're going to do it. For sure we're going to do it. If we stream this 2 hours a week, and I don't know, I'm not really on a time frame with this, as you guys have probably noticed. It's just kind of, we start when we want, and we play as long as we want, and then we call it good. But assuming we go about 2 hours. Okay. I think we spend 45 minutes to an hour doing the actual caving, and the rest of the time, you know, bullshitting or doing stuff like this. Quality of life improvements for the world outside. Fixing up the house, you know, stuff like that. I do wish there were faster ways to do this without just making it more annoying to fix it. Like, TNT is great, but you can't really count on it. We talked about that once. Yeah, TNT either blows up 87 square miles or 8 inches, and you need it to blow up 12 feet. You know what I'm saying? I think you know what I'm trying to say. lots of copper. That's okay. Do we have pumpkins yet? We have a couple. We have one. Don't you get in there. You're not supposed to be able to get in there. Get out of there. Hillside a little bit. Keep some of the bad guys away, you know. And I'm hungry again. Jeez, just like real life. What the hell I was trying to achieve there. We're getting there. Oh, and we had one piece of leather. I don't have enough sticks.
Oh, you know, it's just a basic multimedia package. Nothing special.
Join Rothschild Discord. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't tell you what to do, but I don't think I'd do that if I were you. Thanks for the follow. All the same. Speaking of Discord, this is something that we should probably talk about a little bit. Discord is implementing a what should we call it? Policy, where they want to kind of, you know, prevent underage folks from accessing things that they probably shouldn't be. And I think that's fine. I don't think that's a big deal. So what they've decided to do, the nice people at Discord, is if you want to have access to mature content, adult content, whatever, you will now need to provide Discord with basically proof of your age. That is either going to be in the form of a selfie, with which they will use, I'm sure, AI to try and verify your age just by looking at your face and saying, oh yeah, oh yeah. Or, pardon me for the lip smack, you're going to have to send them a copy of your ID so they can verify. Oh, excuse me, that was a good stretch. Like I said, I'm all for you know, I'm all for, I guess my thought on it there are a lot of instances, in which to quote our good friend King Cobra, an of-age individual sets up a Discord server with content that is attractive to the youth, you know, to get young folks to come and join their server, and then, you know, horrible things happen. Two examples that come to mind fairly immediately are White Bowser. If you're not familiar with White Bowser, consider yourself lucky. They're just cartoons. They're just cartoons, Kiwi. It's cartoons. And this Nova Online person. Now, they have a few things about them. We don't judge those things, right? Don't judge those things. But a few of their other things are very not good, to say the least. And we do judge those things. We judge those things because it's terrible. If like they could appear on a list, you know, a certain list that's going around, but they're not rich or powerful enough to appear on said list. But it's that kind of thing. Anyway, so I understand and I appreciate Discord. You know, like we want to try and eliminate that from happening. I think that's fine. I think that's good. And if, you know, this is not a be-all, end-all solution for it, there's always going to be ways for people to get around that stuff. As I understand this new Discord policy, you're not going to be able to join a server that has quote-unquote mature content. And you have to, you know, you, the server creator, mark the server if it has mature content or not. So, you know, all I would have to do if I were such a person would be to not mark my servers having mature content. I don't know if there's anything that Discord does to verify that or not. Can't say for sure. Don't really want to find out. But, you know, if people want to do it, they'll find a way to make it happen. However, it's a step in the right direction, I think. But the problem is that they are doing it is not a problem. I think it's fine that they are doing it. The problem is Discord in the past has had some problems with preserving sensitive personal data. Okay. Like username and information, ages, that kind of stuff. Okay. Now, he said, I am not terribly concerned for myself, because, you know, I'm not an internet celebrity. I'm barely an internet personality. I'm barely an offline personality, ladies and gentlemen. I don't have enough gravel to do that. Let's get some more. Is that going to be enough? Probably not. Get some more. But I don't know if the Discord server I've set up is marked as mature or not. It probably is not, but it probably should be. And it's probably not because, you know, it's gaming stuff. But it probably should be because sometimes there is stuff, you know, language, etc., that may not be the most appropriate of things. But I don't want anybody who's hanging around with me online to feel like they have to verify their age in a way that's not going to be safe for them, right? I trust everybody in my servers old enough to make the decision to be there for themselves. It's not like we got a bunch of people. We don't. It's very small. Small and intimate. Like my backyard here. Here in the Minecraft. Do we have a pumpkin in that one? I don't think we do. But like it's people, mostly it's people from, you know, low-buys gaming, county line gaming era. And it's folks I've known long enough that I know for sure. You know what I mean? So anyway, long story. TLDR. Looking into alternatives for Discord so people aren't at risk of having their information doxed, I guess. Just for, you know, hanging out in a chat room. And what I have found, there's not a lot, but I did find a program called Stoat. And I think we're going to go with that. I think. Design-wise, very similar to Discord. I heard a noise. Design-wise, very similar to Discord. Feature-wise, it seems to be very similar. So the problem that I've run into with experimenting with it is I think a lot of people are feeling the same kind of way about the Discord thing, but I hesitate to say if it's I'm hearing something. It's bells and it's in the music. I don't know how many people are gonna jump the Discord ship just because, you know, well, how am I gonna get my whatever now? Discord's not gonna let me, you know what I mean? And it's not that kind of thing that I'm going for. Anyway, apparently they had like 20,000 people sign up in a couple of days over on Stoat, and they were not prepared for such an influx. So, it's been a little bit of a, not a struggle, but setting things up has taken some time. Like, it took 3 days for me to get my verification email, and then it took another day for me to set up a test server. Server set up, but I can't make channels in the server yet. I'm gonna stick with it and try it. It seems to be fairly decent. There may come a time where we're not doing the Discord thing anymore. Should put him in the corral first. We've all been fed already. Shut up. One for you. Look at that little cow. Look at his giant head. Come on in here. All right. Trees are good. All right. We got all the trees. Got that one. Oh, we have a new tree. Let's go take care of that real quick. And then I do want to kind of work on this area a little bit today. So anyway, I will let you know when we get the new thing set up, if we get the new thing set up. I'm hoping we can get the new thing set up. I've been annoyed at Discord for a long time. Anyway, just as soon as that nitro thing hit, it really became a, so how can I help you give me money kind of a situation, you know? It got very, I don't want to say aggressive, but annoying. And I don't like that. I don't like annoying things. Shocking, right? Didn't want to get rid of that one. So anyway, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what happens with it. Work in progress at the moment. Both for me and for the Stoke people, I think. They had to, like, right before I found them, it seems like they had to change their name because there was another program, I think it was Resolution, something like that. There's another program that had a similar name and they had a cease and desist. So they've been going through some things. Sounds like. It feels like night's coming awful fast lately. Awful fast. Nothing. Nothing. These. Those in there. We'll keep a hold of that. Which one was monster drops? That one. Gravel. There, make our jack-o'-lanterns, and we need some shovels. Yeah, let me work with that. Some more sticks. We're gonna have to harvest some of these trees we're planting. But for now, bedtime. We'll do one more day working around the kelp farm. Let's call it a greenhouse. It's not quite a greenhouse, though, is it? And one more day working on and around that. And then we'll go do some caving. I'm going to take the time to, you know, to put the fire out. You could at least drop something good. Got a witch. Great. I really should have grabbed a bow. But I didn't. No. No. something else I needed to tell you guys about. What was it? Oh, work. Okay. So, I work 40 hours a week. You know, working stiff that I am. Minimum 40 hours a week, I should probably say. Because it's often more. Not a whole lot, but often it is a little more. And in the colder months, usually from October to April, end of March, we go from working 5 8-hour days to 4 10-hour days. And we do that because it's really not quite as much to do. Growing season for the, for the grounds stops, slows down. And, there's no reason for two people to be there 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. So we take, and we get a longer weekend out of it, working these 4 10s, right? Normally, we'd be starting to think about when are we going to go back to our 5 8s right about now. Excuse me. Because spring's just around the corner. It also has never really been winter here this year yet. Well, everybody over on the East Coast has been in this cold snap kind of thing. We've had, I would say, since Halloween till today, where I live, southeastern Idaho, we've had maybe 3 inches of snow total. Not all at once. I mean, total. Is bad. We rely on that snowpack in the mountains quite a bit. Anyway. So we're getting ready to go back to our 8s. Now, my boss, he is going to be gone next week. He's going on a cruise. And then that's not going to mess with scheduling at all, because my day off in this 4 10-hour situation has been Mondays. He takes Friday, I take Monday, so we each get a long weekend, right? It's kind of handy. Monday's a holiday, so we weren't working anyway. So in situations like that, I would usually take off Tuesday. Long story short, I get an extra day off at the cost of very little PTO. That is why I take Tuesday after a Monday holiday. Don't want to get into the logistics of it. Well, he's gone, so I'm working this Tuesday. Not a big deal. But then as soon as he gets back, he's got to go and have some work done. He's got a really bad rotator cuff. So he's going under the knife, the arthroscopic knife. Little itty bitty, teensy weensy, robot controlled, whatever knife. So he's going to be out for a couple of weeks, basically. Long story short, he ain't going to be there, which means I got to be there on Mondays now. I don't think it will alter anything that we're going to be dealing with much. It may push back our Monday night streams a little bit. I don't think so. I wouldn't be working that late, but sometimes we end up being there late because stuff happens right at the end of the day and you got to deal with it. And I'm also going to take it upon myself to start being a little more proactive on some of this book work and stuff that needs doing that he hates doing, but because he's the boss, he's the one who has to do it. Then we've got some projects that I've been trying to get started, and the holdup is usually him. So I don't foresee it being an issue, but moving forward, just, you know, I may not be as available, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I mean that emotionally, purely emotionally. That's looking a little better. Need to kind of ease that down a little more. So let's put this one back. Down to this height. So back to the scheduling and working and all that. I've got Let's Plays done. That'll take us, you know, I think into fall. Pretty close. That shouldn't be any kind of hang up. I've got Patreon stuff. Excuse me. Patreon stuff is good. I need to look into Mist, see if I finished Mist, getting it ready. But if not, Patreon stuff's good up till July, you know. So I don't think there will be any reduction in output of the crap I do. I just, yeah, it may affect the streams a little bit. And if it's going to affect any of them, it would be this one. It would be our Sunday morning stuff. I don't foresee it being a problem, but, you know, we are also getting close to gig season. Gig season does end up being a bit of a time consumer. I have a gig this Saturday, in fact. Wow, that's a lot longer than I thought it was. So, yeah, that's what's going on with that. With him being gone, it really does. And he's not like gone, you know. He's just going to be basically out of work for like 3 months. Eventually, after like a month and a half, he can come back to work, but he's not going to be able to really, you know, lifting restrictions and stuff like that. It might affect the channel a little bit, but I don't think it will. In any kind of meaningful way, excuse me. We shall see. Those. Goes there, that there, that there. That there. Keep the leather out. The arrows. Those arrows. Bow. Oh, what do we need to make arrows? Flint, sticks, and feathers, right? I don't think we got a lot of feathers. We haven't really been paying much attention to birds. Yep, we'll go with that, I guess. That's the one downside about this setup. Sticks in the world, please. Iron. Make both of those. Three. I know what I said the other day about using iron for shovels, but can't be bothered. Don't need any of that. Don't need that. Don't need those. Make that sand, I guess. Blink long phone. Hello. I watched a movie 2 nights ago. It's a Werner Herzog movie called Heart of Glass, ladies and gentlemen. And I've kind of made it my goal this year with movies and in a way books to kind of get into some more, well, how do I want to say this? With movies, I'm trying to get into directors who have made, you know, kind of big movies, but I want to get into the ones that I don't know about as much. So Werner Herzog, of course, did Aguirre, The Wrath of God, Fitzcarraldo, stuff like that, which still haven't watched Fitzcarraldo. I keep meaning to, but then I look at it, it's like, oh, it's so long. I don't want to sit and watch all that. But I need to watch it. I really do. But anyway, watched Heart of Glass. And it was really damn good. It was. There's a little Bavarian village. I think this takes place in the 1800s, if I remember right. And I guess the closest thing to a main character we have is this guy. He's a shepherd. I'm assuming of some sort. And he has visions. And his visions have pretty much all come true. But people, for the most part, just think he's crazy. And he's probably the most normal person around here. And this village doesn't really have a lot going for it. This village's claim to fame is they have a glass blowing factory. And they make, in this village, ruby glass. And it's the most highly treasured, highly sought after, you know, is beautiful. This glass is amazing. And I might need some more torches before we go down. Should probably go do that first. I didn't bring my axe because of course I didn't, because I wasn't going to need torches. I wasn't thinking about that. And the guy who had the recipe to make this amazing ruby glass has died. And he didn't give the recipe to anybody else for whatever reason. He just didn't write it down. He didn't leave it. Nobody was taking notes. So now everybody's, you know, oh my God, what are we going to do? We can't make this ruby glass anymore. This is terrible. This is awful. This is the worst thing in the world. What's going to happen to the village? And basically like the guy in charge of the town. It's the son, I think, of would he be a baron in this situation, I guess. He kind of goes kind of crazy because he's very concerned about this. He's like, sends his men to get the couch of the guy who ran the factory because maybe he stuffed it in the cushions, and he's kind of going nuts. So it kind of gets, it's very surreal because it's a Werner Herzog movie. Sorry, I'm stretching. I do that more and more these days. It's because I'm a horrible old man. It gets into a lot of like it's bleak. Let's just say it like that. It's a bleak movie. And I like bleak. I like bleak movies. I think they're fine. This is not where I wanted to go because this just comes out the other side, doesn't it? No, I'm thinking of something else. So we kind of have this whole thing, like the people in the village are like, oh no, what do we do? This is terrible. The rich landowner dudes like have to have this glass because the glass is the lifeblood of the village, and without it we'll all die. So he kind of starts going a little crazy. Whoa, hey, don't want that. Not helpful. Not helpful at all. This cave sucks. It really does. I should stop up this water somehow. But if I hit anything here, all that gravel is going to come down. So eventually the whole town kind of goes crazy. And, you know, they blame the shepherd. You caused this. And he's like, I didn't cause nothing. I just saw it and I told you guys what I saw. And it becomes this whole kind of thing. But he's, you know, he starts talking about some of these other visions he's had, and it's like World War II is in one of his visions, and industrialization leading to, you know, the downfall of traditional values, the rise of the communist party in Russia and all this other stuff. It's very, very good. And I'm watching this. I'm thinking this is kind of, it's very good, but it's very surreal, and I want to know more about it. So I get online and looking it up, and Werner Herzog hypnotized, well, maybe not he himself, but he had the entire cast of the film hypnotized, with the exception of the professional glassblowers who had to work in the factory and our shepherd oracle dude. Everybody else was hypnotized. And they delivered their lines as he gave them to them, but all of their movement, all of their gestures was not, there was no direction given there. It was just them being hypnotized and doing weird things with their arms. It makes it very, I don't want to say creepy, because I don't think it's creepy, but I don't think a lot of things are creepy that other people find creepy. I think it makes it, I don't even know how to say what I'm trying to say. I think at the end of it all, I think it makes the movie more bleak and kind of depressing in that, it really makes it feel like these people who are, being, having their lives ruined by this glass thing. Very machine-like. Like they don't have any purchase in their own lives. Everything's dictated. We do this because that's what we do, and we do this because that's what we do, and we do this because that's what we do. The factory closes, we can't do anything about it. The factory's just going to close, and we just have to deal with that. So there's a lot of reactions by the characters that just don't, they're just odd. And odd on purpose, and I think that's okay. And I got rid of some of that water. Maybe we can make a little more progress now. There's some gold right there. No, that's iron. There's something over there. Some copper down below us. If I jump off here, I can land in the water. But I don't trust it. I don't trust that I could get myself out. Do that. That's bad. No, I don't want to touch that. Don't want to touch that. Not what I wanted. We gotta get rid of this. This is really just making my life miserable. That is an awful lot of water out of a single source block, too. So, anyway. If bleak European folktale-ish movies sound interesting to you, it was a good one. Heart of Glass. It's on Tubi. Good old Tubi. Also, if Scarlett were here, I would tell him. He probably already knows. You can watch the original Pirates of Darkwater on Tubi. My God. Okay, we can work with that. And then last night, as last night was Valentine's Day, I watched one of the greatest love story movies of all time. And I mean this sincerely. And if you've seen the movie, you might think, "The hell are you on about, Jason? Crazy. It's not a love story." Watch The Lion in Winter. And I wholeheartedly believe that is a love story. And it's a love story between two people who never really figured out how to love each other because of who they were. It's King Henry the Second, and Eleanor of Aquitaine. And Henry's old and he wants an heir, and all of his sons are terrible. So it's him trying to sort something out. He's grown the largest empire England's ever seen at the time. He doesn't want it to go to hell when he dies, so. He's got 3 sons, and he doesn't want the most capable to take over. But the youngest is absolutely the wrong person for the job. But his wife, Eleanor, wants the oldest to take over because that's her favorite. And John wants the youngest to take over. Or Henry wants John, the youngest, to take over because that's his favorite. If you know a little bit about, excuse me, this time in English history, this is King Henry II. Henry had 4 sons. He had Henry III, who died. There was Richard, Geoffrey, and John. And in England, there's a little story about a king named Richard and his brother John. What the hell was that? And this is like prequel to Robin Hood. Because Henry did die and Richard did become king, and then Richard went off to the Crusades, and then John took over, and John was terrible. This is exactly those people. So if you want a little, like, unofficial trilogy, you start with the movie Becket. Peter O'Toole, Richard Burton, phenomenal. It is a young King Henry. Right? Yeah, it's a young King Henry. And his friend, Becket, who, after the church not really wanting to go along with what the king says, played by Peter O'Toole in Becket, and Lion in Winter. He says, all right, well, I'll just put my friend Beckett in charge. We used to do all the boozing and partying and all that, and he'll support me because we're friends. I'll put him in charge, and then of the church, and then I can do whatever I want. The church ain't gonna stop me. He wanted to invade France, I think, was the thing, and then he needed some money from the church to do it. The church wasn't going to give him any money. So he says, all right, fine. Well, you, Archbishop, you're out. There's my new Archbishop, my good friend Beckett. Beckett ended up kind of taking his job very seriously. And that didn't work out for the king. And long story short, there was a tumultuous relationship, friendships ruined, murder, all that good stuff. If you're familiar with the term, will someone rid me of this meddlesome priest? That's in reference to that. So that happens. That's our start. And then you go many years later, 25, 30 years later, and you end up with Lion in Winter, which is now Henry, who says something in the play, because this was a play originally. He says, I am king, 50 and alive, and no person has been all of those things at once. Yeah, you know what? I think he's right. It's hard being king, and you didn't live very long. For him to be 50 was impressive. Wait. Okay. You may be down here for a long time. Bring enough torches. I brought almost a full stack of torches. Was not enough. Okay, let me work with this. Anyway, Lion in Winter, great movie. Love it. Anthony Hopkins, his first major role, I believe, major film role, and Timothy Dalton, his first major film role as well. He went on to play James Bond a couple of times. He was in the movie Hot Fuzz, which is very funny. And he was in Penny Dreadful, which was really quite good. Penny Dreadful was very good. He was in that as well. He plays a young King Louis. King Louis? Yeah. Louis the Seventh, I think. Young French king. He's good. Holds his own. Both of them do. And this is Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn, who are, no slouches. I think somewhere there's a very good interview with Anthony Hopkins talking about kind of being, I don't want to say schooled in the modern terminology, but getting some very good advice from Katharine Hepburn on how to do this movie thing. And then I think the movie he did, well, it wouldn't have been immediately. I think the next large film he did after this was The Elephant Man. The Elephant Man, that's got a story. So The Elephant Man is a movie David Lynch directed that was produced by Mel Brooks. They had just opened their own production studio. Mel Brooks didn't he just turn 100 the other day? did. Good on you, Mel Brooks. And they needed someone to direct it. And they couldn't find anybody, and they couldn't find anybody. And they were like watching movies at Mel Brooks's house. And somebody brought Eraserhead, which, if you've never seen Eraserhead, that is a life-altering film. It really is, and I don't say that lightly. It'll change your life. It'll change how you think about movies, I think. So we need someone to direct this hard historical drama about John Merrick, the struggles he went through being, having this deformity. The coldness of the world around him. All of this. I saw Eraserhead. That's the guy. That's who we need. I thought this was all going to be full of water based on all the marine life we kept seeing from a distance. And I remember Mel Brooks telling the story of meeting David Lynch. And I'm going to get the quote wrong, I think, but basically it was they met and Mel said, you're insane, I love you. I think that was the words. I think it was, you're insane, I love you. That's how David Lynch ended up working with Mel Brooks. And we're going to wrap it back around. Okay. So Anthony Hopkins in Lion in Winter, also in The Elephant Man. Elephant Man produced by Mel Brooks, directed by David Lynch. We were talking about Werner Herzog earlier. Werner Herzog directed a David Lynch produced movie starring Michael Shannon, who I absolutely love. This movie called My Son, What Have Ye Done? And also another just surreal, just like masterpiece. I love that movie so much. What is lighting? Oh, what is lighting this up? It's that big ball of fire in the sky. That's what's doing it. We need to get out of here. I got no torches left. Zombies everywhere. Come down here. You guys come down here. Will it work? Oh, it does. How are you gonna get out of here? I keep looking at the days played and thinking, why isn't our depth isn't changing at all? Oh God. Water. Might be a way out though. So, there's your homework for the week. I want you to watch A Lion in Winter. I want you to watch Eraserhead, Elephant Man, and My Son, What Have Ye Done? And you can probably get almost all of those on Tubi. I don't know if I've seen the Elephant Man on there, but I know I've seen all the others. And then I will want a 2-page report, single-spaced, when you're done. Have it on my desk first thing next Sunday morning. Tempted to try and swim out. But I think that's a bad idea. See it coming. I think we have enough coal to finish our project here. Just creepers. All right, we can get over there. One of those is... We need to get over there. We need to go over the lava. Just go in front of the lava. How about that? Yeah, now that all that water's gone, much easier. Get in and out of here. Okay. That wasn't too bad. It confuses me a little bit why we have so much grass underground over here. It's not all in there. It's not something that usually happens. You get all this underground grass. No, we don't absolutely need this, but we're here. It's here. We've got the tools for it. And we did pick up a lot of iron and copper, so. That's not the way out. The other problem is I think we've got 2 or 3 different entrances coming into this cave. This is big. It's a big system. We're not even that deep. We're only like 80 right now. 80 deep is not very deep. Talking about Terraria earlier, as I'm mining this hole and trying very hard to not fall in any holes that may exist that we don't know about. It is one of the starker differences between the two that, you know, you don't dig straight down in Minecraft, but in Terraria, you know, it's totally fine. Actually, it's really the best way to get down to the underworld. You know, hell. There are some new mounts in Terraria that are part of the update they just did, and I guess they're from Pal World. I haven't played Pal World yet. I need to. I bought it. Wanted to buy it before I, you know, Nintendo's lawyer said, no, you can't play that game. Some iron over there. And I guess, I said, don't know anything about it. Never played it. I do have this item in the game. I did find it. There's a turtle. It's called like a Digtoise or something like that. And you set it down. And you click and you drag. And it spins around and it digs for you. Until it hits either a space, like a void, or something that it can't dig through. Like one of the harder blocks, you know. Sounds useful. Kind of is, kind of isn't. Something like that would be useful here. But then wouldn't be. For much the same reasons that, you know, digging yourself can be a pain in the butt. I would really just like to get out of here. I'm done being in here. There? Is that where I need to be? Like, I can't just dig up because of all the water on top of this. This is why in my older Minecraft stuff, if you ever watched any of it, it may not even exist anymore, these videos I'm speaking. Yeah, there we go. I would bring like brick with me or some kind of block that was very obvious, and I would mark entrances and exits. Copper armor, huh? I hope you don't get struck by lightning, pal. Uh-oh. Out of arrows. He's got some arrows. Can I have some of those? He had a magic bow. We better run. Is that what you call it? Underwater temple thing way out there. I'll hit you with my shoes. that I beat up a guy for. Must be Nikes. Yeah, out there. I have to investigate that. These boots are in such bad shape, I wish I could recycle them. Ugh, turn them back into copper. Still have another full stack. Nice. Alright, we got some of this. We got some of this. A little bit of that. Keep that coal on hand. Let me drop. That. Those there, take that. All right. Let's have ourselves a lay down. We got a lot accomplished. I mean, not as much as I would have liked at the end of the day, but we got a few things. We might finish. Wouldn't that be nice? Finally be done with this project. Well, at least the floor part of the project. Okay, we need another sword. Be a bad idea to get another pickaxe ready. We had an axe somewhere, didn't we? There. Oh, that one's already been used. Let's take that one. We're gonna need some more wood. I think we're gonna finish this floor. Well, as much as we can finish the floor. And I think that's where we're going to end our stream today, folks. That's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted to do. All right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 more. get all of it out of here? Did not. Seven more. At least it goes fast. Right. Copper smelts pretty quick. Something happened. Didn't seem to be tied to anything I was doing, but something happened. 3 more. You know what, let's do? Let's pull that. Drop that in there. Let's pull that. Drop that in there. Need 27 ingots. That will finish the floor. Boom. Done. That only took a month. Ain't too bad. I think it'll be nice when some more of them tarnish a bit. Okay. We're just going to let these go. Now we need wood. We need wood because we need more chests. We need more sticks and we need everything. Spider just hanging out at my house. I need to go and designate an area. Maybe up here. I want a tree farm. Excuse me. Those trees are down there, obviously, for light and decoration around the house. I want a place where I can plant some trees that are there solely for the purpose to be harvested. And I think that's what we'll do up here. I know I said we'd finish the floor, but I want to get this started so I don't forget about it come next week. There's a bell in this music. And it has a very nautical sound to it. Like a ship's bell. And then it makes me think, is that in the game now too? Because it's so in the background. Maybe more than I thought. It's going to be quite a bit more than I thought. Let's go this way. See, it's a little more obvious here. And not quite as nautical. Right? Right. Promise it'll make sense. I did say in the past, I've said it a couple times now, that it's going to require a lot of terraforming. There's a cave under here, you don't say. Can't be that much left, and every time I think that, there's so much more left. He dropped some arrows. That's nice of him. Yeah, I see you. I see you. Hold on. If I was standing right there, that arrow would have hurt me. I think that's nonsense. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, I understand it. Because the arrow, even falling one block, does have momentum. But I think it's ridiculous. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to fill in these couple of holes up to somewhere over there. And then we'll come plant some trees up here. But for now, that's it. We're done. We are done. It's in the inventory. Anything we need to be... I probably need to start thinking about a new shield. It's getting a little beat up. Let's empty out what we There we go. This while we're at it. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. That'll do it for this week, folks. Thanks for joining me. Hope you enjoyed the stream. There's there's a hole in the floor. That's what there is. Right there. Right there. There's something there. One of them underground temple thingies. Underwater. Jesus Christ. We'll see you tomorrow. I think I've got Dark Star working as well as I'm going to get it. I want to thank everybody who subscribes and follows and, you know, in fact, here, if your name's on here, thank you. Appreciate you very much. We'll be back next Sunday with more Minecraft. We'll be back tomorrow with Dark Star. And if Dark Star still isn't working the way I want it to, I don't know. What I need really to get that working is I need to go and find like a mid 2000s Dell something and put Windows 7 on it, and then it'd work. But that's a lot of work to get one game to play. So anyway, website's there, all the other stuff's there. Thank you.